Hello, and welcome to the Black Dice Society, episode 23, They Put On Pride in Beauty. In the catacombs, here in the castle, having just encountered the gallows speaker and retrieved a precious treasure to both your family and Nika's, Desmond, she has told you that there is a way for you all to access the Feywild upstairs. In looking around down here, you heard the voice of the High Priestess recorded in times long past and spoken to you again by the gallows speaker, indicating that she was going to take Nika home and that this was no place for her to rest. You all are downstairs. The hideous undead creature has moved to the far side of the catacombs, out of sight, and apparently not intending to hinder you in any other way. What would you all like to do?
Like a
Did you find what you were looking for?
We found the crown. But I don't know if it's enough.
What do you mean?
I come home after years and everyone and everything, save for 2 guards, it's gone. We come to the crypt to get the thing that we need to continue our path in getting Nika out. And we get the crown. I have nothing of my family's legacy. I have nothing to have with me to remember, save for a necklace that my father gave me that well, the Foxgrove sisters decided to not tell me what it was about. So after all this time, we've come home and I'm leaving with about as much as when we got here, save for having Nika, of course, which is glorious. I still don't know where Armand is. I just have more questions than answers. And I don't want to go and see that thing yet.
If it's any consolation,
having family's legacy in a necklace.
Well, if it's any consolation, I have lost not only everyone in my life, but I've also lost myself and my memories. So hold on to what you can, because they will be very dear to you.
Are we done being sappy? Because Desmond, you have found your love, whether or not you admit that is what she is. Yes, she might be trapped in a dagger, but you have everything you need. Me, I have never had anything, and therefore I have never had anything to miss. You should try it. It's very freeing.
Hey.
Oh, except for you, Valentine, of course. But I have always had you with me ever since I found you.
You were saying about not having anyone or anything to miss?
That's it. You are lighter. Embrace it, Desmond. This is how you are meant to be. You were never meant to rule. That's not for you. You are of the forest. Maybe that is where you belong.
Maybe. We'll see.
I do agree with Tatiana that we should get out of here.
Yes, I need to get
Probably good
into
idea.
open air so I can practice my moves.
It's musty.
I really wanted to fight that demon thing. Anyone else?
No.
No,
I feel like we could have killed it even more than it already is dead.
but you think you can kill everything, Tatiana?
Because I can!
Most of the time she can.
All right.
Okay, well, can we find something for me to kill soon? I mean, something that deserves it.
I'll keep an eye
Sure.
out.
There
Okay,
are
give me
other
one.
floors
Desmond,
if you wanted.
give me a perception check with advantage. And Valentine, you can also give it to me with advantage.
22.
My actual dice. Excuse me for a moment, because I'm not playing around with these digital ones today.
RN Jesus is a fickle god.
True, and I don't want to take any chances today. Oh, there you go. D20. D-twins. Well,
Desmond, your mind is understandably preoccupied with recent events, but Valentine, you are as shrewd and as perceptive as ever. Recall, you all are on the bottom level of the family crypts, roughly 3 levels down. Brother Uriah, who also seems oddly preoccupied by something, had told you that he only sensed the single undead presence down here of the gallows speaker, and even as it moved off to the side, he didn't sense anything else. As your eyes take in this crypt down here, you do see generations of both Druns and Nabrastankias that have been buried down here. The stonework varies tremendously from greater and lesser nobles, and you can just tell more and less skill of the stonemasons over time who have carved it. At the far corner to your left, as far in this T-shaped area as you could get from the gallows speaker, you can see Nika's place of rest. Her would-be sarcophagus is incomplete. You can tell has been hastily carved, as clearly no one expected her to die when and how she did. There are many offerings of flowers that have long since dried, fruit that has decayed, candles that have burned down, but it is clear to you it is empty.
I don't understand. What did they do with her body? What did they do with most of the people's bodies? If everyone is gone, where are they?
It's not here?
Nika isn't. In the other, like, nearby sarcophaguses, are there seemingly bodies?
Yeah, they do all seem to be there. If anything, this place seems unattended and dusty, which seems to be what the fate that has befallen all of Koshmar. But the rest of the graves seem undisturbed. Even whatever the gallows speaker has been doing down here did not involve disturbing these bodies.
Is there one for Desmond?
There is a place for Desmond. You see, it is actually set back into an alcove where you would not see it immediately unless you sort of look around a little bit and look around some corners. Desmond's is immaculately complete. It is as if he has been turned into stone himself, and you notice the face on his sarcophagus is younger by a few years. Valentine, you know, while they did not expect anything to happen to Nika, at least to a certain portion of the powers that be in Koshmar, they're surprised Desmond's lived this long.
Are there any, I'm trying to assess if they thought he was dead in the time we've been gone. Are there any kind of offerings or anything around it? Flowers like Nika's?
Not that you can tell. Give me an insight check.
I've got a 15.
Hard to say. You know, these provincial types are different than you. But maybe the fact that they watched Desmond and his brother and you and Tatiana disappear gave them a certain amount of hope that having a body for Nika didn't allow for.
Last thing I want to check. Actually, I'm going to call Desmond over first to Nika's, where Nika's body should be. You're better at these things than I am. Can you tell if she was here at some point, her body was here, and if someone took it or if it was never placed?
I won't even make you roll for it, Desmond. Even though this place is, again, dusty with time, it does not, beyond the fate that befell these would-be grave robbers, it does not stink heavy with death. You know, these people were lovingly put into the ground and cared for so that they would remain as long as possible in their final resting places. You definitely sense Nika's scent here, that she was here at one time. You also smell the perfume that you recognize that Kuksha, the priestess of Sylvanas, wore for her whenever she was performing her holy sacraments. Based on what you heard her saying that she was going to take her home, you could tell that it probably was some sort of ritual that she performed down here and took her away.
What do you see?
I feel like she was here, but as was suggested in regards to the ceremony, she is very likely elsewhere.
Well,
Is it normal for people to take bodies in these sort of ceremonies? Or is there
Nahara, you are
somewhere-
one to speak. We found your body perfectly preserved. Perhaps this is where Nika's body is, lying in some shrine, and we can restore her to it.
That very well could be.
Wait, my idea might be right.
Yes.
Oh,
I hope so.
you're right. I know.
I
Would that
imagine
make
that
it-
with Nika's family and their affinity to the forest and other places, I get the feeling Nika would be there.
Okay.
If you have a family that lives by the forest, being stuck in a dusty tomb seems disrespectful in a way. So I imagine she's likely in the forest, a forest, somewhere else.
At this moment, can I pull out my Taroka deck?
You can.
And I would like to do like the same 3-card pull, but try to figure out more about Tatiana's situation, not Tatiana, Vernika's situation.
Nahara, the moment you touch the cards, before you have drawn anything, it feels like they are pulling you upstairs. Like almost like the cards are like they've been magnetized, like they physically want to go upstairs.
Without any word, I start running towards wherever it's pulling me.
You all see Nahara takes off up the stairs.
And what am
Strange
I?
girl. I run after her.
Valentine, give me one last perception check.
25.
You don't see it so much as feel it.
I'm sorry, 23. I was actually incorrect. Bad
Still-
math.
Still more than enough. You are aware that at the opposite end of this tomb, the gallows speaker is looking at you. Again, this large, hooded figure with its skeletal hands. Even though you haven't seen a face as such, even as Nahara runs upstairs, Tatiana runs after her, you're aware it is looking at you.
Tregram. Why is it looking at me?
Well, you are undoubtedly lovely, Miss Valentine. I could offer a theory, but I do not know that it will be a comforting one.
Go on.
This thing is some sort of accumulation of sadness and unpleasantness. That is what they said, correct?
Yeah.
You have contributed quite a lot of sad emotions to this place. Perhaps you are somehow known to it. Familiar?
I'll approach it.
As well, you all see Valentine, Tatiana, and Nahara have run upstairs. Finn and Desmond, you all still down there.
Still very much want to do a deck roll.
I will say that Brother Uriah runs after Nahara when she heads upstairs, for the record. As Finn and Desmond, you see Valentine quietly head in the direction in which you know the gallows speaker is over there.
Valentine?
Yes. It's not like I'm going to set it off. It's very much aware we're here, so.
I know, but won't it do anything to you if you get too close?
Well, Tatiana knows if I scream to come help.
All right.
I'll just keep getting closer.
And as you walk over, you do see this form coalesce out of the shadows. And you hear something, Valentine. It's your mother's voice. Valentine, 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 where are you, child? It is no longer funny. Stop hiding. Guards! Guards! I cannot find my daughter! And it just cocks its head and stares.
You like grieving? Sorrow?
It lowers down slightly to where if it had a face, you'd be able to see it. And you can slightly make out the white of what is probably bone under the hood.
Does my grief make you feel powerful? It makes me feel powerful.
It reaches out a skeletal finger and just points at you.
That movement has Desmond just kind of like move closer a little bit and just stand there with his arms crossed. Just, Valentine, you're not gonna do what I think you might be doing, are you?
Seems like it's got something to say. And it's
Okay.
hiding behind my mother's voice instead.
Or, just as it did when we entered, it might be trying to give you some sort of hint. At least when I heard it, I heard the village, my family crying out in sadness. What did you hear?
I heard my mother searching for me when I was young, yelling to the guards to find me.
They may not be hiding. They may just be born of pain and grief and sorrow. Maybe that's all it knows.
Maybe that's why it likes me.
It's a possibility.
I'll just back up to where Desmond and Fen are.
As you move back, it lowers its hand, and you all hear just ambient crying. Not the moaning, screaming, wailing that you heard before, just ambient sadness as it slides back into the wall and disappears. And with that, hello and welcome to the Black Dice Society, episode number 23. They put on pride and beauty. Again, this is a Ravenloft show, which means it is a horror show. Even though we might be about to go to a bright and colorful place, there's still going to be some dark aspects of it. And as always, I am aware of the cast line and veils. We have a system of safety tools in place. If something becomes too much, they can let me know. So if we ever should shift the scene abruptly, possibly even mid-sentence, it's because maybe we were making someone uncomfortable. But consider that your content warning. Not to spoil too much, but I will say children are going to be a thing in this next part of the story. So if that's a hot button, be advised. Before we begin, as always, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Die Hard Dice. I believe the custom sets for all of our characters are sold out, which is a good problem to have, I suppose. But you still can get the general Black Dice Society sets, which I can't pick up for some reason, which are black and gold. Really cool. You can also use code BDS at checkout to get 10% off of anything else and all sorts of other dope things. Our TeePublic store is live. You can get Black Dice Society mugs, masks, bags, pillows, shirts, whatever you would like to get, all available now. The link should be appearing in chat. Secret Lab chairs. You know I love mine. It's like riding around on the couch all day. Link is also appearing in chat. I've been told that the Idle Champions code is not appearing here when I run the intro video. Here in a second, I will dig it up and I will put it in there because we have a code. It just apparently the Nightbot command is not working, but we're going to get that for you here in just a second. Beadle and Grimm's, the Taroka deck that Nahara is about to deploy, almost certainly to eerie effect once again, came from the Curse of Strahd box. They've sent us the Van Richten's boxes. Most all of the props you've seen us using come out of those. They are incredible. As always, we still have a few more of our museum quality art prints here. If you type in !BDS art in chat, you can see how to get one from our amazing artist Adam Schumpert, and a portion of every sale will go to World Builders, so you not only have something dope, you'll be helping end global hunger. In last but not least, I didn't say this on time last week. Thank you to Stormcrow Tavern for hooking up some of us with these incredible handmade steins. We haven't all been able to get one yet. They literally come in like 6 at a time because people have to make these. They're incredible. Check out Stormcrow Tavern.
Mine arrived yesterday, and I'm so excited.
Also, if you want to tell the size difference between Beck and I, there you go. These cups are the same size, and you see, yeah. I'm 2.5 standard sages. I'm 1.5 standard Beccas, I think, as a unit of measurement, probably there.
But Tatiana is bigger than you.
Tatiana's my size. My size.
Well,
That's true.
I heard Tatiana was taller.
Tatiana's way more jacked. That's true. No, she's not taller. She was floating.
I heard she was taller.
I love how the BDS coffee mug looks like a teacup next to you.
Again, this is a full-scale coffee cup. Maybe I should stop showing it. It seems less impressive when I do it.
You just pull up the stein, my dude. Like, pull up the stein
right.
from this point forward.
A BDS shot glass is there it is. Last but certainly not least, we have a Patreon. We hit our next goal thanks to all of you. We will be doing another full-length episode in the month of September that will be available to all of our patrons regardless of tier. So if you want to see whatever amazing thing we're going to do, maybe consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/the Black Dice Society. We have our exclusive after show. We have bonus DM tips videos from me. We've had side adventures with Nahara, with Tatiana, with Desmond, and Brother Uriah. And we have a special one. We're putting up two in the month of September. So think about that. And I'm going to go dig up that Idle Champions code, and let's get on with our show. Upstairs, Nahara, is you and Tatiana and Brother Uriah are essentially being pulled forward. You stop in the middle of this burned out, devastated cathedral that Tatiana, you know, was once breathtaking to behold. And there is a shaft of sunlight coming down from the sky directly on a series of runes that are carved into the floor. They don't mean anything to you, Nahara, but you, Tatiana, realize this was the exact spot you stood for the wedding. These were the symbols that you all stood on to the north, south, east, and west. And the cards pull you into the middle of the circle and stop pulling you, Nahara.
I stand on my place as I did on her wedding day 6 years ago.
Tatiana, do you know what this place is?
The west. It is my place.
Oh, you mean
Yes.
It is a temple, of course.
Yes, the temple. But by here, you seem to recognize this place? I mean, you're standing in a very specific spot.
Sylvanus. Is he speaking to you?
I don't think that's who's speaking to me. Something is drawing me here, though.
Nahara, give me either Arcana or Religion.
Okay. Ooh, that is a dirty 20.
You've heard Sylvanus? Elven deity that somewhere along the way you probably heard someone who was dying crying out to. Doesn't mean anything to you, though.
I know this is going to sound strange, but it wasn't Sylvanus, but there's something about these cards that as soon as I wanted to find out more about Nika, it's just like it pulled me right to this spot.
Then I think it wants you to pull the card.
Right? I would like to know if the direction we're looking for, are we able to find Nika here? Or is she in that place that she spoke of?
Draw your cards.
You mean her empty body? I mean, we have her in Desmond's sword.
Not, I know, but we're looking for a body because we're trying to bring her back.
Okay.
I appreciate the clarification. The answer would have been varied, yes.
Oh, miser.
Miser. Excellent. Hoarded wealth. Those that are irreversibly unhappy or who think money is meaningless. For reasons that you don't understand yet, that still is as accurate as ever.
Is it really?
There is. Yep.
I don't like that look that you just made.
Nahara, as you look at this card, you comprehend that yes, it is the hoarding of wealth, but also it is someone that just keeps things of value that aren't necessarily gold, but someone that absolutely jealously stockpiles valuable things.
Is somebody holding Nika because they hold her as valuable?
I was going to say, your card is wrong for once because Nika is so generous as day is long. But
yes.
You think someone has done something to her body and wants riches in return?
I'm not sure that they want something in return. I think it's just Nika is valuable to them.
She is more valuable to us. They cannot steal her body and hide it away forever. We will steal it back.
We'll find her. We'll find her.
And hopefully I can slit the throat of whoever it is that took her body. Because I really want to kill something.
You know, in some respects, I do very much respect you in that aspect for wanting those things. But I kind of worry about you sometimes.
What do you mean?
Well, I feel like it just needs to be channeled. I don't understand personally violence for violence's sake. Maybe you
have
can.
never fought in the fighting pits of Kashmar.
I haven't. Maybe.
Show you.
Have I? Have I? I probably haven't, because I probably feel the same way as you. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Can I
don't
roll
feel like
to
I
see
was-
if I have ever have a recollection of fighting?
Absolutely. Of her,
Human vessel
of
or a
Nahara?
body?
Sure.
Gladiator
history.
Nahara.
Make a history check.
Okay. Let's see, that's a 15 plus. No, it's a 14.
You think you'd remember that face, Tatiana, but, how many have fallen before Tatiana? They start to all look alike. It blurs.
Hold on, wait. I get very close and I sort of examine her face in a way I never have before. No, I don't know. I fought so many.
Nice.
But not all of them died.
I don't know if that's good or bad. But
Neither do I.
Would you like to draw another card, or are you going to stop
I
at the one?
would. I
Okay.
would. Now I'm going to do a 3-card pull. My second card is going to more along the lines of what is going to aid us in finding her body.
Okay.
Enchanter.
Inner turmoil that comes from confusion, fear of failure, or false information.
I feel all those things.
You get the distinct sense that you will have wildly different paths you can take that may seem valid and may or may not work, but will be 180 degrees contradictory.
Oh, this doesn't help at all, does it? Tatiana. There seems to be very, very opposing methods in which we can go find Nika.
We go in my way or we go in Brother Uriah's way? I look over at him.
You
Perhaps.
see, Uriah still just seems preoccupied. Both of you give me an insight check.
17.
Oop, 15.
Nahara, you're preoccupied yourself that you feel the cards are trying to communicate with you in a way they never have before. I mean, symbolically, they always are, but they're really trying to tell you something this time in a way that you cannot quite put your finger on. Tatiana, you realize, and it's strange because, people think you are this blunt instrument, Tatiana, but you have a very keen insight into emotion because you have to be able to control it if you're going to be a good warrior. You can tell seeing this once beautiful shrine to the gods absolutely eradicated is really bothering Uriah.
They're not even his gods. I mean, I came here all the time. You don't see me being,
What?
mopey.
Uriah's a man of faith. It bothers him.
Finn. Well, I guess that is his gentle spirit that he respects, even others that are not Ezra.
I would say at this moment, Desmond, Finn, and Valentine have made your way up from the catacombs as well, as Nahara is standing in this circle that you know all too well. Desmond, holding the cards in her hand, his brother Uriah has just sort of wandered off a few feet and is kind of running his hands down, one of the cracked and broken columns in the temple.
Everyone gather round, gather round. I think we should say a few words in this same place. Desmond? Valentine?
Uriah does walk over and just sort of stands next to Nahara and immediately takes his hat off and holds it to his chest.
Fen is very confused because she was not there for any of this, so she's not quite sure why we're saying words.
So I'll just kind of gesture over to Fen if you'd like to stand next to me.
I'll follow Tatiana's lead and I'll stand to the south like I was at the wedding.
And Desmond, you're right here to the north? Oh! Finn, would you hold the sword that is Nika?
No,
Right
that
there.
is Desmond's honor.
Well, Desmond has to stand here because we're kind of doing the thing we did before, but she was here.
Did before when?
At the wedding.
Wasn't there, remember?
Oh.
Yeah, I know. That's why I want to show you.
Only if Desmond is all right with it.
Maybe this time she should marry the red brother.
And with that, Desmond just kind of unsheathes the sword and hands it hilt first.
When
Over to Finn.
you're unsheathing the sword and she says this time maybe she'll marry the right brother, you feel a jolt of that cold go up and down the blade just for a second, like a reaction that difficult to place. Almost like Nika sort of bristled at that.
What, Nika? You know it's true.
Tatiana, maybe this isn't the time or place for that.
All right. Well, let me just say what I was going to say.
Let me just
She
ask
takes hands.
one question. Is your intent to position Nahara and Uriah in the places that Kuksha and Armand were in the ceremony?
Yeah. Nahara, you are like Kuksha in a lot of ways. You look very different, but with your Taroka cards, you're a lot like Kuksha.
All right. Uriah?
He still just looks around kind of apprehensively and then steps up next to Finn. You can see he gives you a look, Desmond, that is almost like a bit of an apology, but doesn't say anything. And still just kind of looks down towards the floor. So, essentially, Nahara, you're facing towards the center of the circle. Desmond, Valentine, and Tatiana arranged along the edges of it like you were before, with Finn and Nika in blade form standing right in the center.
I just wanted to say, when we were last here, we did not realize how good we had it. And I think it's time to make new memory. No matter how bad things are, you may always be swept away to the mists and potentially die at plant-eating monsters and zombies. So, we should celebrate life, even if that life now lives in a sword.
That's very sweet, Tatiana. In a way.
Now let's go kill some shit in the forest.
Right.
I
Would like to do. Go ahead, Fen.
I just lean over to Nahara, if that's possible. I'm concerned about this wanting to kill things. I thought I was bloodthirsty.
We were discussing that earlier, but I don't. I want to be a supportive friend, but something in that just seems like, I don't know, is it part of a curse or is that she was like that?
Maybe both?
Tatiana's walked away so that you can talk about her. She's testing out her theories.
Or it's just a very loud whisper, very audible.
Very large stage whisper. Actually,
Tends not to hear.
Tatiana, well, it's Finn and Nahara are closer together because Finn's in the middle. So I would say you could have this exchange privately if you wished. However, Tatiana, as you are offering what to you is a heartfelt prayer to seize the day, the sun beaming down on you is casting your shadow in the middle of the circle, Tatiana.
Oh, no.
And it looks up at you and says,
I look to see if anyone else notices.
I think you're all having your own individual moments. I will leave it up to you if you choose to notice, because it is really happening, but a lot is happening right now.
I notice it, but I choose to not perceive that moment. I'm talking to Nahara.
Yeah, I'm going to continue talking to Fen. I will say that I see it, but I'm like, if we acknowledge it, does it make it worse? I'm not going to say anything at this moment.
It makes chicken wings at you like you're chicken, Tatiana.
I mock it right back. I'm going to let it throw the first shadow punch.
It just
Is this shadow boxing?
This is the most shadow boxing, honestly. While this is happening, Nahara, are you going to draw another card?
Yes, my final card. I'm just ceasing all other conversation and closing my eyes and concentrating on what, if any, force, for whatever it is, what will be there to help us. And I drew the shepherd card. Don't smirk.
Those who protect others, one who bears a burden far too great to be shouldered alone. These cards, man. Taken in totality, Nahara, you realize you will have lots of help. Lots of things will be working in your favor. The problem is, lots won't. And the hardest part will be telling the two apart. That will be your biggest challenge. That will be your greatest confusion. Who to actually trust.
At this realization of who is actually here to help us and who isn't, I very much glance over at Uriah, not for because of him, but who he, the baggage that comes along with Brother Uriah, let's just say.
Because of him.
Because of him, exactly. Right? And I would like to, I don't know who's paying attention to me doing this last card, but I am going to pretend that I'm just going to shuffle that right back in and not address it if nobody notices.
Desmond. Obviously, this is a difficult moment for a lot of reasons. But as Tatiana's shadow is bidding her to come forward, You swear it looks at you and points at something on the ground and stops moving. It goes back to just being a shadow.
And look where it pointed.
Give me perception with advantage.
We'll go back to digital dice. 9.
Oh, no.
All the rest of you give me perception checks.
Ooh, I get advantage.
19.
Mm-hmm.
14.
14.
17.
17.
That is a dirty 20.
All the rest of you notice Desmond kind of like looking down, like kind of brow furrowed, like he dropped something. Like,
What are you looking at?
I'm surprised you didn't see your shadow point down there.
I was too busy doing a chicken dance at it.
Yeah, but it did a chicken dance at you. to
Right, I turned
kinda
around to
goad
do
you
the
into
tail
fighting.
feathers.
And anyways, while you were doing it, it pointed down there. And I don't see anything. And I point in the direction that it pointed.
Do I say anything?
who was that got a dirty 20? Finn, as he sort of points, you can make out very faintly writing. The symbols are all very clear. The writing is very faint, and you can tell with that dirty 20 that not only has it been sort of covered up by the wind and dirt and grime that is befallen this once glorious temple, but you get the distinct impression that it's something that was hidden on purpose, like covered over.
Oh, interesting.
If anything, the wear from the elements is revealed something that otherwise would not have been visible.
Okay. I will hand Nika back hilt first and lean down and brush away the dirt and dust covering this.
As you brush at it, you actually have to like pick slightly, because what becomes clear to all of you very quickly is there were words carved inside the circle that were then painted over and filled in. So as the paint has worn a little bit, you can reveal them. It says something in Sylvan, which, Desmond, I know you know, and I believe you're not the only person in the party who knows. It says in Sylvan, speak, home, and return.
Careful, if my shadow pointed at it, it can't be trusted.
But your shadow is in my family's tomb, which means this was here in my family's tomb. Look at it, it's aged. I don't think your shadow has that kind of skill to make it and then make it look old.
I just realized we're not in the mist anymore. I mean, I know it, but maybe my shadow is not so bad here.
I don't know what to think about your shadow, but I am very curious about what speak, home, and return means.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
That's what it says. Speak home
Speak
and
home.
return.
Do you have to say it
Where?
in Sylvan?
Trying to remember what the accent was for Sylvan. So
You
Not
know,
sure.
It's Irish.
It's
Probably super Irish.
I was about to say it really depends. It's the issue is not what the accent for Sylvan is. The issue is how Desmond sounds when he speaks Sylvan. The two are not the same thing.
speak
It is
home and
Yiddish.
return.
When you say that, you all hear, and the floor opens up around you, and what seems like sunlight comes up out of the ground to meet the sunlight that is coming down. And there is a gust of wind in your face. And you're standing outside. This exact same carving is in a clearing surrounded by trees. Trees so tall that they nearly block out the sky. The sky is an almost impossible azure with fluffy clouds of multiple colors that look more like candy going overhead. You see all manner of animals and creatures walking around happily. And Tatiana, just at the edge of your vision, at the end of the clearing, you see a rabbit person.
Yes!
Waving happily.
Tatiana is like jumping and waving with both arms.
The feeling that all of you got when ringing those bells comes back to you again. Tatiana, this place is amazing. Valentine, it is strangely welcoming, which is a sensation you're not accustomed to, feeling welcomed and loved. Desmond, it feels incredibly vibrant. Like the ground is humming to you. It's like the leaves of the grass are dancing. That there's a vibration and a rhythm in the very trees. This place is absolutely amazing. Nahara, you feel pulled in 3 different directions, but not negatively. Like there's 3 very different ways you can go and you would be welcomed. It's almost like 3 friends have invited you to dinner on the same night, but you can't go to all 3. But you feel this pull. Finn, you, however, don't feel good about this. This is as far removed from the Underdark and the mists as a place can be. It doesn't feel hostile, but you understand on an intrinsic level, as a drow and as a Dhampir, you do not belong here.
This is happiest place on earth.
Or you.
What's wrong, Ben?
Can I just look at Desmond and smile and show my fangs? Dump here, remember? Drow, remember?
Yeah. Touché.
I don't think that I know enough about the Feywilds to fully comprehend. It doesn't seem to feel that way about the undead. I don't. Nahara, how does it feel to you?
How does it feel to me?
If anything, it's like you have too many options, Nahara. Like I said, you feel welcomed, but in 3 vastly different directions. And I don't mean like to the east, to the south, and to the west. Like 3 different options are pulling to you all at once.
I personally feel the same. It's when you brought those dolls out and we all had that reaction to it. Oh God.
I will say, sorry to interrupt you, Nahara looks different. How does she look? As it takes you all a second to take this in, your friend has changed.
Nahara is in all white. Very much like you saw her body when you found her in Falkovnia, but much more decorated, much more lively, very just like iridescent, white and sparkly. but I feel the same. There's something about this place. Like when you had those dolls, I feel that same sort of welcome. Like when first holding it to my ear. But there's something about this place that and you see her looking in every which direction and taking in her surroundings. It's something that I feel pulled in different directions, and I don't know if it had to do with one of those cards. She kind of mutters to herself under her breath. But I feel the same.
You look great.
Oh, thank you.
Nobody else changed outfits when we stepped through. Strange.
Why is this? And I look over to Uriah. How does Uriah seem?
Uriah seems like he's just standing there looking off into the distance. Valentine and Nahara, you both know this look because all of you know this look. It's what Nahara and Valentine look like when they go into their trance, when they don't sleep, when they're there but they're not there.
Uriah.
He just sort of blinks but doesn't respond.
Are you all right?
Valentine, this happened to you. You should know what to do.
It doesn't. I mean, it's not something bad that happens to me. It's what happens when my mind is resting. Maybe we shouldn't panic. Maybe he's visiting with Aslan. I don't know.
Oh, is it like, remember when we all held the dolls up to our ears, and remember when he held the doll up to his ear?
Silenced. Maybe that's the effect that the Feywilds have on him.
Because he is clone? He cannot exist outside
he
of...
exists, but maybe somebody can't hear us.
Yeah, maybe Aslan Rex's domain does not reach here.
This makes me sad to think Uriah is not his own individual without the presence of the Dark Lord.
Relatable.
Makes me sad as well.
Finn, I'm sorry this place feels unwelcome to you. But we will protect you and stand with you should any bunnies try to fight you.
I don't need protecting.
I thought the bunnies were friendly.
I know, I felt really bad. I don't want to fight bunnies.
I'm not going to fight a rabbit.
Okay, good. I wave at the rabbit again.
Do you need shade? And I'm going to bring over one of my wings over Fen.
And Fen is just looking up at your wing like, you have lovely wings, but I'm not a vampire. I'm not going to burst into flame.
I just
you
burst into flames. I just know if you had maybe possibly light sensitivity. I don't know. I'm trying to be here for you.
I know. And actually, I'll just kind of nestle in next to Nahara, your wing is actually nice and soft. Thank you.
Are your wings different? Do your wings look different here?
They're white and feathery and very plush.
I'm totally like, ooh, feather bed.
Like a goose down pillow comforter.
And IRL, I would totally do that because I'm like, oh, it's nice and comfy.
If Nahara doesn't mind, may I just get under the other wing? Oh.
You're too tall. Go away. My wing.
Can't have both wings.
Yes, I can. Yes.
Desmond, you especially, it's like an order of magnitude. When you went into the mist, it's like the slider on life was cut to half. Here in this place, it's 150%. It is so vibrant that you feel your pulse like start to quicken a little bit. Like you just want to just leave and just run through the woods. But in the midst of that, you're sure you're being watched.
I love this place. Like if I wasn't with all of you, I would literally going for a jog right now. This place is awesome.
Don't
we
let
have
us
company.
stop.
Yeah, do you want to just take a quick...
Nah, we have company. Somebody's watching us right now.
Oh, the rabbit? He's fine. I can get good vibes.
And just right then, Desmond just quietly tries to inhale to see if he can smell anybody nearby.
Give me survival with advantage.
Yay. Where did you go? Childish.
No.
That other guy's gone somewhere.
Floor dice don't exist.
30-20.
It's the strangest thing, Desmond. You are sure you smell something, but what you smell it's very confusing. On the one hand, it smells reptilian. You've caught hundreds of lizards in your time. But if happiness had a smell, like it alternates like baking bread, logs in a fire, just random happy, cozy scents just sort of rotate through your mind.
And right then, Desmond just like kind of puts his hand on the hilt of his, not the Nahara, or not the Nika sword, just a hand on the sword, and just, I can smell you, but I don't know what magic you're putting in the air, but I know you're there, so just come out and get it over with.
Give me a persuasion check, Desmond. Persuasion or intimidation, honestly, whichever's higher.
Both are the same.
Well, then I'll leave it up to you. Are you trying
19.
Are you trying
I'm trying to be persuasive.
Yeah,
not
inviting.
intimidating.
Right. Perfect. You hold on a second. Nahara. You hear in your head, psst, hey, psst, 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 hey.
Yes?
There's no way that guy can see me. Is he faking? Is he a faker? He seems like a faker to me.
Can I see you?
No. No one can see me when I don't want to be seen.
Why are you asking me then?
Well, because like you look like a logo. Like, I mean, you got the look. The rest of them, they don't have the look. Did you know, like, I think one of them might be dead.
Listen, I did it. I see your concern here, but I've already been on patrol checking the situation, and everyone seems fine in this general area. Looking around like, where is this voice coming from?
Can I hear Nahara?
Also, like, deception, whatever.
Desmond says that out loud, but the response comes to inside Nahara's mind. Give me persuasion with advantage.
Me?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, good thing I had advantage. 2 plus, let's see, 2, 21.
After a moment, all of you hear out loud a very small voice say, okay, I'm going to come out, but Everybody be cool, because I'm great and terrible, and not to be trifled with.
He's cool. He's cool. No, we had a thing.
Sorry, what?
Whoever is about to appear is cool.
That's yet to be determined.
Is this just because they said they were cool? Because you can't trust everyone who says they are cool.
Listen, they were more afraid of you.
The Sky Woman is very smart. Not everyone that says they're cool are cool, which is why when you say you're cool, I have reservations.
Can we hear that?
This said out loud. You all hear a little voice say that.
I feel like if she said you're cool, then I feel like you're cool, which means you're cool. So we shouldn't even be having the discussions about who's cool or not because you're cool and we're cool. Come on out.
Everybody's cool?
Your
Super
logic
cool.
is impeccable. About 15 feet away, in the opposite direction of the rabbit person's still there. You can see, again, 6 strangers just appeared, and you all are an unusual looking group, but the rabbit just sort of waved and just went back to what he's doing, like he's picking fruit or something, probably 50 feet away. So you still very much have eyes on the rabbit. But about 15 feet away, floating in midair, you see a very small bluish violet dragon. Its scales scintillate and are different colors pending which way the light hits it, and it's got wings like butterfly wings, and it's about the size of a cat, and it is floating in midair.
You have the coolest wings.
That's why. Well, you've got great taste in wings, and also nice armor that has studs on it. I like it.
I cast levitate so I can float up and see eye to eye with this dragon.
It immediately flies straight towards you and is like flying all around you in a circle. It's like, how are you flying without wings and you're so big? Are you made out of clouds?
Sort of. Is not completely wrong.
Can I?
Is it okay if I touch you? Because, I realized, like, I just want to sit on your shoulders. I've never been on the shoulders of a cloud person before.
I've never touched that little dragon creature before.
Wow, who are you calling little? This is one of my numerous forms. I just didn't want to scare you by being
You can't touch me.
great. And it mid-sentence stops talking. It just snuggles around your neck.
Can I just, at this point,
I have a cuddle friend.
Yes,
I'm air anime hugging, just like, psh.
It wraps its...
Both Tatiana and the dragon.
And Ben just lands face first in the dirt when you run over.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I realized you were snuggling. I'm sorry.
Very much wraps its head around Tatiana and its tail around Nahara and just like hugs you both. And it feels, even though it's a bright sunny day, it just feels warm and inviting, and it smells like baking bread. It's just, it like purrs gently, like.
What's your name?
My name is Twinkle.
Of course it is.
What's your name, new friends?
My name's Nahara.
Before I tell you, you promise you are not of ill will? You have to tell me if you are.
You see its head unwraps from around you and comes and it's just like nose to nose, face to face with you, Tatiana. And it's like, you are a local and you're right. You shouldn't just give your name away because the wrong person could do a lot with it. That is true. And I probably should have thought of that before I said my name out loud. But no, I mean no ill will. No.
Well, it's okay. We're friends now, right?
Yes, we are the best of friends now. Yeah.
I'm gonna telepathic message Fen.
Yeah.
I don't trust this at all.
This is weird. I don't like this place. And they just let a strange creature snuggle around their neck. It could kill them.
I don't know a ton about the Fey, but I do know that you shouldn't hug the first thing you see in the Feywilds.
Or give your name away.
I'm hugging the first thing I see.
Just spinning in the air.
So they're going to get us killed, aren't
you three
they?
are having a moment. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it is joy and happiness and puts a smile on your heart while you're doing
If not by this one, then the next.
Should we just leave them and go look for Nika?
If we start walking, they'll catch up. They'll probably bring the dragon.
Yeah, they will.
Wait. I couldn't help it over here that you are looking for someone, looking for something, perhaps.
Oh, I thought we were doing message.
Oh, were you?
Loud.
Yeah,
sorry.
it was a telepathic message.
I apologize. Then no,
Although
it
he's
does
pretty
not react.
telepathic.
He is, but he
Twinkle,
doesn't
we're
know that.
looking for our friend's body.
Just outs it. Okay.
You and I just look at Valentine and just message back. You brought her.
Tatiana, please.
No,
We've talked about these
I'm
things.
like, way too tie up and having too much fun.
No.
He said he was cool.
That's not how anything works. We've come from Ravenloft.
Wait,
What makes you...
What's a Ravenloft? No, wait. I want to help. I want to help. Let me help. Please let me help. And it lets go of
Stop
the two of you,
talking.
and it flies over to Valentine. It doesn't touch you, but it does put its little dragon paws together. And it's like, please let me help. Please.
Why would I let you help?
Because you clearly need help. You're wearing
And
a
how are you
ball gown in a
qualified to
field in the
do so?
Feywild.
That's irrelevant. How are you qualified to help?
I'll have you know that looks can be deceiving, but I will take you to meet my master, who is great and powerful, and can tell you what you need to know to help find whatever it is that you need to find. This happens all the time. You guys are not
Who
the
is your
first
master?
ones even here to all of you give me wisdom checks, not saves, checks. You are not
Oh,
in
that's
danger.
a nat 20, baby.
It's a nat 20.
Ooh.
Perfect. But still, I
stupid
still
question.
need it from all
Dirty
of you.
20.
Dirty 20.
I'm just
Perfect.
clicking
20.
on wisdom, right?
Yeah. Whatever
Five.
your modifier is. Yep.
Okay, 16.
16.
Yes.
5. Perfect. No, Tatiana, you're just waiting for Twinkle to come back. Yeah.
15.
Desmond, 15. The moment he says you all are not the first ones, you're not even the first ones here today, all of you are struck very powerfully by the sense you have been here before. If someone had just asked, you would have said no. But this seems very familiar. Now, Valentine and Finn, you all very recently experienced something in Isolde's vision that now that you're here clearly matches the Feywild and was probably around here. It's not this exact clearing, but I mean, it was these types of trees and in this kind of environment. You don't know if, is the entire Feywild like this? Who can say? But it definitely looked like this. But underneath that, yeah, you've been here.
How is it that we've been here? I feel like that. Am I wrong? Does anybody else feel that?
No, I feel that way too.
I do, but I wouldn't have come back here voluntarily.
Yeah,
Well, I've been here when I hold the tiny angel to my ear.
No,
Yes.
I think I probably can be of some assistance with that before I take you to meet my master, the great and powerful Madrik Rosloff. No. Lots of people come here when they're it floats all the way down to the ground and sort of like stands up about child size when it kind of extends. When you're like my size. You probably came, you probably lost something, and now you're going to come and get it back. Yeah, that happens. But you got to be careful. It can be a very tricky place. And it flies back up and perches on Tatiana's shoulder again and goes back to snuggling.
What did you say was the name of your master?
My master? Madrik Rosloff.
Have I heard this name before?
Give me history with disadvantage. Actually, I'll let you roll it straight, Tatiana. You've met people from all kinds of places.
No.
Can I roll history or arcana while Tatiana's doing that?
You can, but for you it will be disadvantage.
I get advantage on both of them though.
Oh,
by
then it'll
default.
an even roll.
Okay, so just one roll.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I only have a +1 on either of those, so. But it is a 19, so it is a total of 20.
There is a chance you would know this. Hang on, I need a different roll here. Maybe that's a name Isolde has said to you. It's not exactly common.
Yeah.
You do know that. Well, first of all, Isolde didn't speak of of her time here too often because, as you know, things generally went poorly for her.
Right.
But she didn't really speak of in terms of having a lot of enemies here, besides having chased the caller into the mists. So a lot of the names she mentioned, it's not like she would have mentioned like, ooh, if I ever get a chance to, get even with that guy type thing.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I'll try to remember what Isolde may have told me while this conversation's happening.
With a 19, I'll give you that she told you he's a warlock.
Okay.
But
Twinkle,
yes.
what is this Madrik like?
Cool.
But like he says he's cool or he is cool?
Both? No, he's always been good to me. He raised me since I hatched out of an egg. Hey, look, Tatiana, and he puts his claws on the side of your face and he's like nose to nose with you and he's like, we're friends now, right?
I think when we spin in the air and yeah, we're friends.
I do not lie to my friends. It would be unbecoming of a fairy dragon.
I would like to insight check that.
Yeah, please do.
All right. That is a dirty 20 on insight.
He's not lying.
Loyalty is the most important thing in a dragon or a genasi.
Yes, I thought you were going to say the most important thing in life because fun is the most important thing in life. But second to fun is loyalty. Yes.
Twinkle,
Yes.
you said earlier one of my many forms.
Yes.
What other forms do you have?
Important point of clarification. Are we friends?
Yes?
Okay, I kind of only look like this or when I don't want to be seen like this. And he vanishes. But you hear
So
his
only
voice.
those two things.
Okay,
Wait,
yeah,
Desmond is cool.
No, yeah. No. I'm not lying. I kind of look like that, and then he reappears immediately. That's sort of it. It's just I'm okay because I'm small. Sometimes people like misjudge me because I'm little, and they think they can just do whatever they want, push me around, and they can't. They cannot. So it's easier if they believe that I'm as big outside as I am in here.
I respect that.
He's the same size.
Oh yeah, definitely the same size. Although he flies over to you and he's like, ooh, but I bet you have more than one form, don't you? But you don't eat people that you're friends with, right?
Of course not.
Great. Now I'm glad we're friends.
You are a great seer of character.
I like to think so. Yes, I like to believe that I am. Yes. So
maybe you have some insight. I, Dampier, feel uncomfortable in this place.
Excuse me.
No offense.
that's a little bit awkward.
And Fen actually leans over to it and puts her face and like shows her fangs. How awkward.
I mean, it's like nothing personal. It's just you're just sort of contrary to the vibe, you know? Like we like sunshine and life, and you like underground and not life.
And I just like snarl at him before I turn away.
It flies and gets behind Nahara, and it's like, don't let her eat me.
Oh, you're not even worth the effort.
I still want to be friends, though.
Seems really sweet.
I'm allergic to sugar.
Fair.
Oh, you have come to the wrong place then. Just wait till you guys get to the carnival. They got lollipops as big as your head. Your head, not my head. Like
You have a carnival here too.
There's the the carnival. Yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, it's back. It's awkward. Like it leaves for a long time and then it comes back, but it's back now.
Interesting.
Is it misty to get there?
No.
Just a regular carnival? No
Well,
ever expanding nature?
I guess they have like new stuff and things, but no. That's an oddly specific question. Where are you guys from?
Here. Nearby. Kashmar.
I was gonna say, you keep your secrets. Oh, Kashmar! Yeah, some friends of mine have gone back and forth to Kashmar over time. Kuksha came through a little while back. Yeah.
You know Kuksha?
Who doesn't know Kuksha? Yeah.
Kuksha!
Yeah, right? Like, we got so much in common.
I float again. We float around.
Right.
I'm still telepathic with Fed. I just go,
Yeah.
is this the carnival that we saw in his soul's mind?
I think so, but I honestly either want to drain this thing of blood or be on our way.
Let's go with the
things to
second.
do. It probably would give me a stomachache. It's too sweet.
There. Twinkle, If-
Yes.
you're intending to help, then we should get moving. We are on a bit of a timeline to find what we're looking for.
Ah, great. All right. Well, everybody gather around. I will lead you to meet my master. When you are here in the woods, singing is optional, but I'm going to. And immediately starts singing at the top of his lungs about his 6 great new friends, about the beautiful sky woman, about the woman in the ball gown in the woods, about his soon-to-be underground friend, about his buddy who is absolutely not a shape changer, and the beautiful angel, and the oddly quiet hat man, just as he's singing the whole way as you guys go through the woods.
Nahara
get,
absolutely
like,
takes
halfway-
out her. Oh, go ahead.
Like, as we get halfway to the woods, Desmond's just like, you said that giving people your name can be a problem, right? Twinkle?
He does not give your names in the song, but yes.
If giving names could be a problem, would not giving descriptions of everybody that you're in a party with loudly give a lot of stuff away as well? I feel like security-wise, that's probably not a good idea.
You guys aren't exactly subtle, though, Desmond. Like, I think anybody that is trying to put eyes on you probably has eyes on you by now. So, at least now they know that you're coming and know that everybody's cool.
Listen to this remix as Nahara takes out her lyre, which I don't have because my cat's in my lap. But check out this remix. She's playing it on her lyre and singing it.
Bars. Exactly.
AJ Nahara.
Fen is like with lockstep with Valentine and just kind of nudging her because she can't initiate message on her own.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
For the record, 1, I don't hate you, and for 2, please let us be done quickly, or I may just forget that these people are my friends.
I will certainly do my best.
I have never wanted to go back to the Underdark more than I have right now.
I don't even know where I want to be.
And I hate the Underdark. I left on purpose.
Noted. And maybe, at least here for a little bit, nothing will try and kill us or eat us or turn us into mindless plant people.
I don't know. The brightest flowers are often the ones that are the most poisonous.
Okay.
Valentine, as you are walking through this place, two things kind of tumble around in your mind. One, you want to hate it here. You should hate it here. But just something about it. Something about it just feels so good.
Mm.
And the second thing is the memory pops back unbidden of that small pixie that you set free that day, that you moved the rock off of its foot and flew away. Later that night, you think back to your room. What was Valentine's room like when she was a girl, 7, 8 years old?
All of the furniture had like little kind of like lace lining around it, draping all of it. It was mostly white, very pristine, and had little accents of gold designs on all of the furniture. And her bed had a big canopy over the top of it. It looked like the house itself was actually relatively well worn, but everything in it was exceedingly nice.
As you were laying there staring at the ceiling, thinking about the day and everything that had happened, a tapping came to your window. As you looked over, you see that little pixie standing in the window. It waves. And it's like trying to lift something that it barely can, and it slaps against the window a ticket to the Witchlight Carnival. And just says, come on, let's go. The carnival's in town.
And do I recall going?
You don't recall anything. And that's a good place for us to take a break. We will be back in 8.5 minutes. Don't go nowheres. If I can just get this to go. Nope. Okay. Oh, here we go. Be right back. Oh, wait. Patrons. This time I remembered, so the fact that I fumbled with the tech was actually good, because I apologize for not thanking you all last week. Again, these are our top tier patrons on our Patreon, our Dark Lords of the Dread Domains, who literally make it possible to do what we do. Thank you so very much. Aaron Duran, Alan Zozo, Aurelia Roth, Brad DeMagd, Brian Dwyer, a.k.a. Nightsfall, Brian Kepi, Chris Lewis, the Pretzel Bear, Chris Smoot, Christopher Klendering, Christopher Zednick, Craig Savage, David Bonney, D. Nicole, Donald Scott Massey, Ducati, Flannel Fries, Forrest S. Moore, Gruffumbly, Guy Vanderbrink, Ian Brooks, Josh Olin, Josh Link, Callan Roar, Kyle Garrett, Matthew, Mecca Shiva, Merrill Harrison, Mr. Owlbear, Nathan Crowder, Nick Bernard, Packery 101. The list is getting long. Thank y'all. Patch, homie. Project Wolf Bear, Rees, Rob Bacon, Garland Tremarco, Ronan Monkey, Rosie and Sean at Sip Happens, Rum Soaked Chicken, Sin 7, to Queen Bee, to Nuck and Futz, Tracer Vision, the Undisputed Baron of Disneyland, friend to our clan, Warren Reality, and Zort 1. Again, thank you all so very much for your support. And with that, we will be back in 8.5 minutes.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Perkins. I am one of the principal game architects for Dungeons & Dragons here at Wizards of the Coast. And I want to talk a little bit about our new adventure, The Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Our first 5th edition adventure set primarily on the plane of the Feywild. In the adventure, the players get to visit some absolutely wondrous locations and get into all sorts of wacky hijinks. So what is the Feywild, you ask? It's like a reflection of the world, similar in a way to the Shadowfell is a gloomy reflection of the real world. The Feywild is a more wondrous, brighter reflection. But like fairy tales, the Feywild comes in all sorts of flavors and tones. Sometimes it can be a dark place. Sometimes it can be a very light and whimsical place. What The Wild Beyond the Witchlight does is it kind of shows an archetypal Feywild domain. We don't visit the Feywild in its entirety, of course, because it's vast, but by focusing on this new domain that we've created, this place called Prismeer, we can give you and your players a real taste of what the Feywild can be like, and also give you pointers on how to distinguish a Feywild-themed adventure from, say, an adventure that takes place in the natural world. Now, in the Feywild, there are the creatures you expect to encounter, Fey beings like satyrs and pixies and sprites. And then there are intruders that make their way into the domain, or creatures that have been lost there or found their way there because they crossed over from the natural world into the Feywild. And so there's a great deal of range when it comes to the types of encounters that you can run there. But with The Wild Beyond the Witchlight, we really wanted to show you some key aspects of the Feywild. One of the weird things about the Feywild is it's very easy to get lost. Time and space sort of bend there in weird ways. A lot more time can pass than you think, and sometimes there is no road to where you need to go, or the road turns back on itself if you don't know the trick to getting to the end of it. One of the things I'm most proud of is that a clever party can get through this adventure without ever having to resort to combat if they don't want to. That's the first time we've tried something like this in a 5th edition adventure, and I look forward to hearing how that goes. And so in this adventure, we show you how some of the rules of the Feywild work, like the rule of reciprocity and how Fey like to be repaid for the kindnesses that they offer, or the rule of ownership. What do you own and what can you give up? And what happens when you take something that doesn't belong to you? There can be serious consequences for stuff like that in the Feywild.
Hi, my name is Ari Levitch. I'm a game designer on Dungeons & Dragons, and for The Wild Beyond the Witchlight, I had the pleasure of getting to work on parts of Prismeer. So, Prismeer is a domain of delight, and domains of delight in the Feywild are these sequestered realms that are ruled by a powerful Archfey. These are powerful beings that are native to the Feywild. But something has happened in Prismeer, in the adventure Wild Beyond the Witchlight, in that the Archfey, Zybilna, is kind of missing in action. And in her absence, the Domain of Delight has fractured into these splinter realms. And the splinter realms are Hither, Thither, and Yon. And each one has its own distinct feel based on what's going on there. And so one realm, Hither, is this fetid, dank swamp. Thither is this ancient forest filled, with whimsical trees and all sorts of woodland creatures. And then Yon is this dramatic, landscape of mountains and brooding clouds and storms. And so there's this kind of patchwork feel to Prismeer based on what has happened, that in its fractured state, each realm has taken on its own kind of miniature domain vibe. The carnival itself serves as a Fey crossing that could take people from the material plane into the Feywild, specifically into the domain of Prismeer. The Feywild is actually this plane of absolute emotion. Imagine emotion like in Technicolor. Everything is amped up, and it's filled with capricious and mischievous and charming denizens. And it's a place to get into adventures that are a little bit more whimsical in nature, but there's a playful wickedness to the Feywild that doesn't exist in other parts of the Dungeons & Dragons multiverse.
Hi, my name is Kate Irwin, and I'm a senior art director on D&D. I was the art director for Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Inspiration for this book was kind of all over the place. It was everything from Willy Wonka and James and the Giant Peach, that magical adventure sort of feeling, to kind of darker things. All of the maps in the book were done by Will Doyle and Stacey Allen. Will and Stacey worked with Chris early on in the process, so the maps really were a big part of how the adventure flows, and the details that you see in the map inform the adventure, and the adventure informs the maps. It was a very symbiotic process. And then my great luck is that they had wonderful sketches to work from and finalize them into the beautiful maps that you see in the book. We worked on the dice set prior to the book, so I was able to kind of dip my feet into the commissioning of this wonderful place before I really had to go in the deep end. So we did a subset of characters, games, showing some of the different sorts of things that you'll experience when you go to the carnival. And those pieces were in the dice set. So there's a little bit of information about what it's like there. One of my favorite pieces from the Feywild section of the book is actually a chapter opener done by an artist that I've worked with a million times, Kieran Yanner. I asked him to illustrate a bunch of adventurers hanging off of a swamp gas balloon. And the sketch came in and my heart stopped. It made me so happy to see this sketch. The composition, again, he just captured the character so beautifully, but this time in a really active kind of scene. So that was like one of the happiest accidents in this entire book. I just love that piece. My main goal with any project is to put together a book that I'm proud of, pleasing the lead and pleasing the fans. Those are my main goals with any project.
I do hope, on behalf of our team, that you love The Wild Beyond the Witchlight and its satellite products as much as we do. I want to thank everyone who worked on it. A lot of people poured their hearts and souls into this product, their love of the Feywild shining through. And I just want to say thank you all for all that you did.
As you all are making your way through the woods, again, almost despite yourself, you feel your guard going down just slightly as my green screen goes up, just slightly. Needed that AC, y'all. And all manner of, again, animals and big, bright, flowering plants as you make your way through here. The path is not at all well worn. The grass is still about ankle deep all the way along until you can see a break in the forest up ahead that is heading towards a very large pumpkin farm.
I'm not gonna do it. I almost made a great pumpkin joke.
It's a deep cut.
Do it.
No.
And I've got over the garden wall. Anyways,
I was just wondering if there's a spice field anywhere nearby.
I hate you.
They grow a crop of really, really basic humans. It's strange. They're like very basic.
I needed that. Thank you.
Is it fall in the Feywild?
That's true. Perpetually summer. I'm sure we'll get to fall eventually, though. That's why they got a pumpkin farm. And
does your master live at a pumpkin farm?
yes, doesn't everyone's master live at a pumpkin farm?
No, absolutely not.
Diana has no master.
He just stops and he's like, really? That
Yes.
feels so bad for you. Maybe he'd be willing to be your master too. I don't know. You might not
No.
need a master.
Absolutely not.
No, okay.
No.
Don't think that would go over well.
Okay. Yeah,
No.
you know, hey, he's not that kind of master. He is always done right by me. And you notice as you guys get closer, there are other fairy dragons sort of flying around here, and you all see very, very tiny humans between 6 to 8 inches tall with huge butterfly wings. Valentine, they look just like the thing you saw, but different. I mean, they're different. Like people are different. They're different colors, different hairstyles. They're wearing different clothes, but they are that type of thing. And some of them are flitting around through the trees. Some of them are, tending to the pumpkins. You notice as you guys come, they tend to stay out of arm's reach of you the same way Twinkle did. But sorry, Valentine, I believe you were going to say something.
Tregram.
Yes, Valentine.
Not enjoying the Feywilds?
It is somewhat taxing.
Do you have access to my memories?
Yes.
Do you remember if I've been here?
Well, I was about to get pedantic, and do you remember that you've been here? It seems like, some aspects of your time here have been, obfuscated. If I might offer my professional opinion, I do know a thing or two about memory alteration. This is quite different than what we do. It's like it was carved out, but like you gave it away? That doesn't really make sense. Why would anyone voluntarily allow their memories to be taken away? Because if they would, that would make my life a lot easier, but way less enjoyable.
Maybe if you were more like a fairy, it would be easier. Try being pleasant.
I thought I was tremendously pleasant, and I must admit, trying to get around with wings would probably be a lot easier than those meat sticks. Sorry, I forget myself.
I'm going to walk towards the fairies, and I'm going to kind of try to shoo Tregram out of my head a little bit.
You realize also, Valentine, you're aware that he's with you, but it is almost like his voice sounds farther away. Like he's definitely diminished here. Which, if you think about it, it makes logical sense. I mean, he is a product of the mists, and this is about as far from the mist as you can get. Some of the fairies, you notice a few of them are sitting on some nearby branches, eating brightly white and red colored candies that smell very strongly of peppermint, that they're just holding with two hands.
Sorry to bother.
No bother, neighborino. Hi.
Hi. I believe that I've been here before, and it would appear I don't remember any of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I befriended someone in your community.
Oh? What do they look like?
A fairy. I do my best to describe the.
We are pixies.
Oh.
Yes.
Pardon, was it a pixie?
Yes. It looks like them. It looks like them, like a little person with butterfly wings. Yeah.
Can I visualize like the hair color or anything specific enough to describe it?
Yeah. Are you capable of casting minor illusion? I apologize. I forget.
I'm fairly certain I am. Yes, I am. I can minor illusion it.
You could minor illusion the now that you remember them so clearly in your window.
I think that she looks kind of like this.
They look for a second and they go, "Oh, that's Thimble."
Is Thimble still here?
I mean, Thimble's like around. I think they probably went to the carnival. She loves the carnival.
Oh.
I mean, we all love the carnival. We're gonna go eventually. Like, we just had some work to do. Like, I mean, this candy's not gonna eat itself. You know, we don't want the crop to go bad. Would you like some? Which, of course, it's the size of a candy. It's just to them, it's you. They hold it out to you.
Sure.
But you see one of the other ones kind of like slaps his hand. Is like, "No, get her a fresh one. Get her a fresh one." And they go over and they have a small basket that is full of what looks like peppermint candies.
I'll take one and pick up an extra with their permission. I'll, kind of signal to take another one for Tatiana.
There's like, absolutely. Enjoy. You guys here to see the master?
Yes, I suppose we are.
Wait, Valentine, I thought you told me I wasn't supposed to eat anything given to me by anyone.
There's something odd about this place. I feel better than I have in ever. I don't know. It seems good.
Does it make you want to eat candy?
Yeah. And I'm gonna put the candy in my mouth and then just kind of spit it back out.
Well,
no, it still does nothing for me.
Although when you put it in your mouth, Valentine, it is intensely peppermint. It's great. If you ever needed to open your sinuses, this would do it. Yeah, but it's sweet. It's good. Tatiana.
Valentine has taken the stance of, since I don't have to eat, I do not eat. So having something that intensely sweet and strong for the first time in question mark amount of years, just maybe not that, actually.
Tatiana, do you put it in your mouth?
Absolutely.
The moment you do, you notice actually little bits of frost come out of Tatiana's nose. Like it is so pepperminty. And one of them just says, take it easy on those. They say peppermint is just cold spicy, so it'll open all this up though. Woo!
I blow my nose frost onto Twinkle. Got you.
This like waves a wing, and it's like, but your breath smells so good now. That was well done.
It smells good. I imagine that it's a part of our unending breath.
It was a well-timed practical effect there that I had to cough when I actually coughed. As you guys are making your way sort of across this pumpkin field, you see up ahead there is a man that is walking towards you, coming out of the house. He looks like this. Giving you all a quick glimpse there on the screen. Because his picture's too big to leave over the overlay.
Oh, wow.
He looks like a kindly old man, walking with a cane, wearing dark clothes, and a couple of these pixies sort of flitting around him.
I love him.
Oh,
He's going to put us in a pot and eat us.
Right? Like,
Possibly. It looks like he owns a
My
candy
concern.
factory.
Yeah, he's Willy Wonka.
yeah. The schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
You have been summoned to the abode of a human warlock named Madrik Rosloff. He lives on a giant pumpkin farm, sharing his rustic farmhouse space with rodents and pixies. His adventuring days are behind him, and he looks quite old and frail. Nevertheless, he is delighted to make your acquaintance. I've acquired many treasures and made important contacts during my lengthy adventuring career. I would like to pass these treasures I possess and the favors I am owed to you. In exchange, I ask that you travel to Prismere, a domain in the Feywild, and find out what fate has befallen the Archfey that rules it. This Archfey, Zybilna, is my patron and inspiration, and the source of all my power. I've been unable to contact Zybilna for the better part of a year, and I fear something terrible has happened. My adventuring days are over, but Zybilna has been good to me, and I would like to know that she is well before I take my leave. Every 8 years, our world is visited by a traveling extravaganza called the Witchlight Carnival. It recently returned and camped near here. I am asking you now because this carnival might pack up and leave in a week or two, and it contains your only route to Prismere, a fake crossing, if you will. Seek out Zybilna of Prismere and help her if you can, and return with proof that she is alive and well. Upon your return, all the hard-won earnings of my adventuring career shall be yours.
That's a big pitch before a real greeting.
I thought you all understood with, hello,
No.
hi, hello. And you
Hello?
see,
You're already
Twinkle-
trying to make deals.
Twinkle just pokes his head up and he's
When
like,
does a warlock not want to make deals?
valid.
Most people say hi before they ask you to go on grand adventures, though.
How do you know you can trust us?
Yeah, you have no idea who we are.
Like I said, you've got to bring back proof, and I assure you I'll make it worth your while. And he just taps his staff. And when he does, you see out of the rows of the pumpkin fields and everything, a small army of these little pixies kind of fly over to a barn door and with all of their might kind of pull it apart. And inside you do see a mound of treasure. There are coins, there are items strewn about, and he goes, not the whole thing, not the whole thing. And they immediately close it back up again. And he says, and I feel if you guys pass the vibe check with Twinkle, I could speak clearly.
I'm going to send a message to Fen. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to send a message to Fen real quick saying, he did say that his patron was Zybilna.
I was too taken aback by the demand to go find Zybilna without even so much as a buy your leave. I think this man is going to murder us and put us in stew.
I will agree that his intro was a little, he just came on too strong, yes.
But we do need to find Zybilna, so Zybilna can help us, and I
Yes,
can help Isolde.
exactly.
I'm still floating, and I come over to Madrik. Okay, Madrik, I'm going to give you a little advice. First of
Oh my
all,
God.
how many adventurers did you give this pitch to? It felt very rehearsed. I feel like you said this to everyone. Secondly, do you show everyone that treasure? And if so, I hope you have some security, because if we were not as honest and trustworthy as we obviously are, we could just kill you and take all your treasure.
Oh, yes. Well, two things. You all are not the first adventurers that I have made this arrangement with. Whoever comes back with the evidence that Zybilna's hale and hearty, I will uphold my end of the deal. And I realize that I look old and frail, but, make no mistake. And he stamps the staff on the ground, and out of the ground around the barn, massive black tentacles come up and begin whipping around, and his eyes turn glow purple. Still got a few spells left in the tank.
My tentacles just start like dripping out immediately in response.
Exactly 2 per level, yes.
It does.
I like what you did there, because my next question was going to be, what happens to the people that don't come back with the thing you want?
Now this
Thanks for
is
answering it.
exactly how this Fae has always been described to me. So this actually makes sense. We're looking for something specific here, though, and it's not riches.
We are, well, we saw Zybilna and she asked for help.
He takes a step towards you. What? Saw Zybilna? Where?
Oh, where was it? She wasn't sure where she is and she asked for us to find her.
Wasn't she stuck in a brain?
I
What?
think so. And Fen and Tanya are trying to remember where exactly Zybilna was stuck, because she didn't know, did she?
Because this was far more recent for Finn, I will tell you. When you were in Isolde's memory, Zybilna was able to appear there, and she told you the reason why she's here is because she's in the memory. That she was somewhere trapped. She didn't know where. And when you started trying to figure out how to find her, something ejected you from the memory.
That's right. And I relay that to our creepy old man.
Although this is the first you've heard of the Fey domain of Prismere. Although those of you that are from the Mists, the idea that there's domains here that are different is not so difficult to comprehend. Even those of you that aren't from the Mist, you've now spent enough time in Falkovnia and the Carnival and in Mordant and in the House of Lament that you comprehend this division that apparently may be the way things work in everywhere that isn't the prime material plane. As you tell him this, you see his eyes just sort of get wide, and he goes, I don't know if I'm happy or sad. This has confirmed my fear that she is being held somewhere, but at least she still lives.
Yes, but do you have any way to track her?
You must go to Prismere. She was the Archfey there. All the lands were hers. I assume she would be easy to find.
Oh, great. Go to Prismere. As a drow. Great.
I think you could probably gain access to Prismere through the Witchlight Carnival.
No, I'm sorry. I just thought about something else entirely. I'm just not having the best time here is all.
Just as an aside, I may have slightly undersold the fact that this is a pumpkin farm. It is. The pumpkins, however, are nearly the size of his house. I mean, the pumpkins each stand 10 to 12 feet tall.
Oh, this could make a pumpkin pie big enough for Tatiana to eat.
Later.
I tell you, if you come back, I'll give you every possible thing that you could wish for. I could make pumpkin pie, candied pumpkin seeds, we can make pumpkin smoothies. Have you ever had a pumpkin spice latte?
Not a
Tatiana
fan.
kind of floats dreamily on her side and says, sometimes when people send us on quests, they give us a feast first.
Oh my god.
Each one of you, roll 1d8 for me. You don't have to tell me what it is just yet, but just get it here.
Okay.
I'm not concerned.
I'm very concerned.
Hey, sorry, hang on. I'm just
Slightly.
I'm looking for something myself here. All right.
Oh, hi, it's me, Concern.
No, PSL are not D&D canon. I refuse to accept that.
First, Valentine. What did you get?
I got a 5.
Now that Valentine Tregram comes to you. Valentine, there is, shall we say, a displeasing amount of ambient magical energy here. I think something is happening.
What do you mean?
I have located a new memory.
And?
Right when he says that, you remember another time, Valentine, that as you would take those walks in the garden with your mother through the orchards, there was a time that she sent you off to play by yourself. You saw her talking to someone that day, and you learned at a very early age that it was not the Asteria way to eavesdrop, which is why you honed your skills of subtle observation, because being a bit too obvious could land you in the worst kinds of trouble. But you remember now your mother talking to a woman that looked just like Zybilna. And Zybilna gave her a bag of money. And you heard Zybilna say, "Make sure the child wants for nothing." And that's it.
What the hell is that?
Apparently, it's the truth. I had not... I was unaware of this particular aspect of your previous existence, or I would have brought it to your attention sooner.
My mother made a deal with Zybilna.
So it seems. But it seems it was to your benefit. It was so that you would want for nothing. I thought you already wanted for nothing, except maybe friends and companionship and basic human compassion. But besides that, nothing.
I don't understand.
Tatiana, what did you get on that D8 roll?
5.
Tatiana, you remember early in your career in the fighting pits, you have not laid eyes on Zybilna. You've only been told what she looked like, although you did see the minor illusion that Valentine summoned to show Isolde, so you have seen her face. You remember in the earliest days of the fighting pits, a woman that looked just like that, walking up to your trainer and handing a bag of money. Make sure she is well fed and well armed. Her training will be very important in the future. And that's
Jibaku?
it. You see Zybilna paying Jibaku to make sure that you're well taken care of.
This doesn't make sense. Jibaku found me. Jibaku saved me. Jibaku was paid?
Finn, what did you get on that D8?
I got an 8. The pause is giving me concern.
Good. Finn,
Hmm.
You've now spent many years working at a carnival. That life is quite familiar to you.
Mm-hmm.
But an unusual memory pops into your mind. At first, you think you're running through a giant carnival with the bright colors and almost impossibly large wagons, until you run around the corner and you literally bump into someone and you look up and you see a woman and you realize it is not that the carnival is huge, it's that you are small. And the woman leans down and you see it's Sibilna. Oh, aren't you a beauty? I don't get to spend nearly enough time with our fascinating cousins from the Underdark. Here, child, enjoy. And she handed you a muffin, which you knew you probably weren't supposed to eat, but you weren't even supposed to be here, so and it just made you feel warm and happy. And even the memory of it now feels warm and happy, but even that is slightly alien sensation to you now, that this pure, genuine, joyous memory of childhood no longer really has a place in your heart.
Fen, covers her face and turns away from everyone because she doesn't know how to feel, and also it just doesn't fit. She can't remember going to a carnival as a child.
You have no recollection. This time in your life in the Underdark was not a time for carnivals in games. And
No.
yet, you remember this. Desmond.
And rebukes his memory.
Desmond, what did you get?
I also rolled an 8.
Desmond, you have a very similar memory happen for you, except for you, it's you and it's Armand. And he's little. He's 3 or 4, struggling to keep up with you as you are holding his hand and running happily through this carnival. And this woman, again, she stops and gives you both candy. She looks at you and says, "Ah, little princes, not 1 but 2. Future kings someday, perhaps." And she leans down and she whispers in your ear, Desmond, when you're 6 or 7, "But we both know you don't want to be king. That'll be our secret, won't it?" And she gives both of you candy, which you remember eating and just remember feeling fantastic. You were so scared, Desmond. You remember now, you were so scared that Armand was going to tell Mother everything, and you would never be let out ever again. In fact, this is the first, but by no means the last, time you snuck out, Desmond.
Sounds about right.
Nahara, what did you get?
I rolled a 1. It's probably fine.
And now Nahara's starring in a Saw spinoff.
I'm Chris.
Apologies to everyone. I did that all wrong. That was me attempting to check how long the epilogue video was. Played this other thing. Got all loud. That's on me. Nahara, with your 1. Which again, I'm sure this is going to be fine.
Absolutely. What can go wrong?
Nahara. you remember running through a forest. The sky in this place was gray and bland. It very much feels like somewhere in the mist. The trees are knotted and twisted and bare, and you're looking for something. Tears are streaming down your face as you are desperately searching for something, and you hear, "No, no, no, my beautiful child, do not cry. Come, I have found what you are looking for." And you see Zybilna, and she sweeps her cloak back, and she has your pet that you lost. It's covered in mud and sticks, but otherwise it is unharmed. What kind of pet did Nahara have when she was a little girl?
A small little cat.
What is your little
You can hear her sometimes.
She's still with you, verifiably. Yes. You see, she hands this small kitten back to you, and she pushes the hair back slightly to look at your face, and she says, "Things are going to be complicated for you, child. So complicated. But I promise you, one day, you will have all the power to do whatever you want. Won't that be lovely?"
I suppose. Who are you?
Oh, me? My name is Zybilna, and I think you and I are going to be the best of friends. And the memory stops.
I remembered something. I remembered something.
You did?
Yes. Yes, I remembered. I know Zybilna. We've been trying to find her, and I thought that it had nothing to do with me, and we were just, but I saw her as a child. She said, I met her before.
Wait, no. I saw Zybilna just now in a memory.
I did as well.
So did I.
I turned to look at the dude, Madrik. Did you do this to us?
Did I do what?
Give us memories.
Oh, no, Again, my power is vast, but that is not a capability I possess. What's more likely is you're starting to recover some of what has been lost.
But what are the odds that all of us that ended up here encountered Zybilna at some point?
Hi! Why else do you think you ended up here?
How do we recover more memories? How do we do that?
He turns and he looks at you for a second. And he comes a little closer to you. And he says, "You have something. Something from here." And he's like clearly looking you up and down. He doesn't touch you, but he's like, "No, I sense it."
What?
he just points the staff at you, and he's like, you're carrying something.
I carry lots of things.
See, Twinkle leans over and just very carefully with his nose kind of like dries the tears off of your face. And he's like, I think he means you're literally carrying something.
Yes, but I know that could mean so many things, though. I literally carry a lot of things. Both figuratively and literally.
I picked up on the figurative part. Is there anything that you think might, like, belong here in the Feywild?
Maybe it's something that pulled me here, yes.
Oh.
You see both of them turn and look at you, Tatiana.
I think you have something that belonged to Nika's mother.
Oh, yes, I do. I don't know if this is what you're looking for. And I look to Desmond first to see if it's like okay to reveal this.
Well, to clarify, OOC, this is not you in front of the old man in Twinkle. What is it that you're wanting to reveal?
Well, if it's something that belonged, that Tatiana was referring to the crown.
Well, Desmond's got the crown. You have something else.
Oh.
Right. So I didn't know if this was hearing that, I didn't know if this was a retcon.
Yeah.
Let's play back and we have this, but
nope. He's not referring to the crown.
He's not.
The House of Lament
Cool.
may have many horrible toe muffins.
I
It
think
also
perhaps these cards may be what you're looking for.
He looks at them very closely. Where did you get those?
That's not your concern.
Well, and you see Twinkle sort of rears up and he goes, Master, with all respect, my dear friend Nahara clearly does not want to speak of the providence of her Taroka deck.
They were given to me.
Humbly entreat you, allow her to preserve this secret for herself. You do know how important secrets are. And he's... Yes, secrets, so many secrets. Listen, you all, I am of little help in physical matters anymore, but I do possess some information about Zybilna, about the carnival, about what may lay ahead if you have any questions.
These cards are from this land?
Clearly, yes. Very much.
Do you know if these can travel to other lands? Are they known to be able to travel to other lands?
He sort of looks at you for a moment, narrows his eyes, and kind of scratches his beard for a second, and he says, well, you, despite appearances, are not of this land, and yet you possess them. So I deduce they can travel outside of this land. And when he says, all of the pixies and things around golf clap. Oh, this is magic. Brilliant deduction, Master. Brilliant deduction. Yes.
When he says that, and all the speak of the pumpkins going on, as he's saying this, Nahara will reach down into her pocket because she appears differently, but will reach down to see if those 6 pumpkin seeds are still in her possession.
They are. Everything that was on your person is still here. Your physical appearance has altered, but your possessions are intact.
Do those seeds feel at all like they were from here?
No, those seeds feel like they are not from here.
Good to know. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. You almost forgot what the mists were like until you touched those seeds, and then you're like, oh, there's that feeling. There's that in the chest and in the sub chest. Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. If I might offer a theory as to why you all might remember Zybilna, and you're all greatly blessed to have been in her presence, she is a sort of fairy godmother to mortals. She created the Witchlight Carnival as a means by which mortals could enter the realm and beseech her aid. If she actually took the time to come and seek you all out, then you must be special souls indeed.
If she does so much, what does she ask for in return?
Well, as my patron, she asked for everything. But she gave so much in return. I believe she makes different arrangements with different mortals pending their ask. I asked for power and glory, and she did bestow it upon me.
And so, how does she call upon everything that belongs to her now?
Well, that is what concerns me. I have not heard from her in over a year, and I am aware that time passes differently in Prismeer. I have no idea how long she's been in the state she's in, and if not for you, he points at you, Finn, just telling me that you have seen and spoken to her recently is the only hope I've dared to allow. I've sent adventurers that were passing through here just to look for her, but none have returned. Although, in fairness, Prismeer is a wondrous place, full of everything a person could wish for. They just as likely found their happiness and stayed, or simply returned home forgetting about some sad old man on a pumpkin farm.
So, if we find Zybilna, the question is how to get her out of wherever she is.
Yes. You say she's trapped? I did not know that. Prismeer is her domain. How could one be trapped in their own home? He motions towards the house. And yet, if that is what she said, I would not question my lady.
Well, she wasn't sure where physically she was.
Ah, yes.
We need to find her. I guess Prismeer is where to start.
I feel that we have all felt a great change in what we thought was the truth. I mean, if these memories are as real as they feel, Zybilna, well, I owe her very much. Nahara, I'm sure it is strangest for you to have memories for the first time.
It was the most bittersweet feeling. Yes. But in the same way, knowing that we're all tied to her in some way makes me feel a bit comforted, despite not having so much of my memories to rely on as the rest of you.
Speaking of memories, I've got a couple questions for you.
Yes.
Do you know an Eladrin named Isolt?
Isolde.
And do you know of the other carnival? The one in the mists?
I only know of the Witchlight Carnival. I was told, Mr. Witch and Mr. Light acquired the carnival over 100 years ago from an Eladrin, but The name eludes me. I'm sorry. I'm becoming useless in my old age.
I'm sure you can put two and two together.
Well,
I just asked you about an Eladrin named Isolde.
Well, when I last visited, the carnival was run by a couple of Shadarkai named Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. I assume they still run things.
You'd be wrong.
Well, this carnival is in fact run by Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. This yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which you did see in your vision also.
Because I was asking about Isolde's carnival.
He knows nothing. Well, let's next. No, he doesn't know. Well, nope, he doesn't know anything.
Well,
yeah, I was like, he might. He don't.
No.
Yep, he's not aware of another traveling carnival. Finn.
Yes.
You do remember, though, two things. Isolde can take the carnival anywhere. She could bring it here if she wanted to. But she was afraid of running into the Witchlight Carnival again because it meant she'd have to leave and come back here. That was the deal. That they'd run this carnival and she'd run that carnival until their paths crossed again.
Right.
So while she could come here, she didn't want to come here.
Or Nepenthe doesn't want her to come here.
Who could say?
I think when we're done in Prismere, I want to meet Mr. Witch and Mr. Light.
I think you will have an opportunity much sooner than that. You must go to the Witchlight Carnival to find a way to get into Prismere. It's like a gateway, but I don't know how to access it directly. I always had Zybilna's favor. I did not require such a way, but when I've lost touch with her, I too have lost access to Prismere. It is a domain of delight. Zybilna dwells there in her Palace of Heart's Desire, a magnificent structure right in the middle. Oh, she's beautiful and wise. She can take on so many different forms. I just thought for a time that perhaps she was merely traveling, or perhaps it appeared to me in a way that I did not recognize, but I've come to realize that was not the case, and you've confirmed it. But it is true that when she appears to mortals, she does tend to appear like the woman you described, with long white hair and a small tattoo shaped like a chicken's foot, right here.
Why chicken's foot?
I don't know.
All right.
I could have Twinkle escort you all to the carnival.
It seems that we need to go soon, but I wonder if we would be able to rest for a short time?
Absolutely. You are welcome to sleep inside my home if you wish, or outside. It is sure to be a wonderful evening.
Perhaps we go tomorrow.
Yeah. Outside is fine.
You all look like well-appointed adventurers, but can I provide you with anything? Food, kindling, cots, tents?
Now we're talking. You said something about the pumpkin pie?
Pumpkin pie! And you see the house begins to literally rock like the house begins to dance, Tatiana. And every window opens and all the doors open, and literally dozens of pixies come flying out with pumpkin pie, with candied pumpkin bacon, with meat that has pumpkin glaze on it. Basically anything you could think, and quite a few things you would not think to do with pumpkin, come parading out.
I like it here. She digs in.
Mm-hmm. What do the rest of you do?
I'm just looking at Uriah, making sure he's okay.
He still is just staring off into the distance. And just every once in a while blinks.
Do you think Sibilna ever visited him?
Don't know for now.
Don't know.
As she takes a giant bite of pumpkin bacon.
I'm willing to bet, though, that if she's visited all of us, perhaps she's also visited him.
Tatiana, it's all magnificent. It is literally the best food you've ever had in your life.
I've had a lot of best foods in my life, and this is the best foods.
When you say that, all the pixies get that golf. The best food, yeah. Madrik is just like, thank you all, friends. Couldn't do it without you. Yeah. Do any of the rest of you eat?
No.
I'll take a little taste of it.
Nahara, you, like Valentine, do not have to eat, but you can if you choose to. And what roughly does Nahara eat? Does she like an appetizer, a main course, a dessert?
With all the talk of pumpkin pie, and since, taste and smell has so much to do with memory, she's trying to see if she can jog her memory a bit. So she takes a little soup of that pumpkin pie in her finger and tastes it.
Your long dead taste buds erupt back to life. And what you're familiar with is not that you have tasted this, but you have smelled this. You've been near pie that was cooking like this before.
Tatiana, this is the greatest day of my life.
Me too.
And as you guys cryingly hug, Twinkle wraps around both of you and cries also. And it's like, me too. Yep. Yeah. What are the rest of you doing while this love-in is taking place?
Cousin grabs a piece of the pumpkin bacon and just like squinting around and just like bites the end of it.
Again,
still doesn't trust it, but like hungry though.
Desmond, it's better than anything has a right to be. It is not just the taste. It is like you hear the secret ingredient is love, like a cliche all the time, but it really feels like love when you eat it.
He just puts the rest of it down. He just wanted to taste it, and he's highly frustrated at so many cool things happening, but like not wanting to like engage because he just firmly remembers the toe muffin. Like he didn't eat it, but he saw it eaten, and he saw the toe, and This isn't Ravenloft. This isn't the house of Lament. But he still just doesn't trust foods prepared by people that are not in this group or people that he sees regularly.
And Finn, does Finn choose to partake of anything?
No, Fen is still trying to suss out this Warlock, and she still is not okay with this memory because it just doesn't fit for her. It doesn't make any sense. And so she's watching everyone eat, and she's just kind of like tilting her head, staring at him, trying to figure out what he's hiding.
You do see, as all the food is coming out, he sort of like parked himself on a pumpkin now. And like the pixies are serving, and like they're singing little songs and playing little instruments, and he's kind of just like clapping around with it, you know? Like, outside of his show of power, when Tatiana was like, what are you going to do if we want to rob you? And he's like, only this. Besides that, you've got nothing but positivity from him.
I look up. You aren't partaking in this feast.
It looks like only Tatiana is eating in earnest. Nahara.
Oh no, I'm asking him.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead then.
I was asking them, our guest, our host, why he wasn't partaking in the feast.
Oh, yes. I can't quite put it away like I used to, but I get you need to make sure that everything is on the up and up. And he sort of hops down and he walks over towards Tatiana, who's surrounded by dishes. And he's like, do you mind, young lady, a poison test? It might be too late for you, I think, but for everyone else, is it all right?
Try this one. Poison could never stop Tatiana.
And he does sort of take a bite of a piece of bacon, like a bite of a scoop of pumpkin cheesecake, grabs a cup of one of those odd, strong-smelling drinks that he referred to as a latte. And he's like, whoo, ooh, gets the blood flowing. You're right to be suspicious. There are many, many things in these lands that will not be as they seem.
Yes,
Not you.
I've been told.
But not you, though.
Well, that puts me in a bit of a predicament. If I say I'm exactly as I seem, you'll be more suspicious. But if I say I'm not, you'll be more suspicious. I'm an old man. I've traveled this world. I've traveled many worlds. Believe it or not, I've traveled through the stars. I've seen things you would not believe. And came here to put down roots for what time I had left. And my friends here keep me company. We sing all day and we feast all night. It isn't the worst life for someone who expected to die on some forgotten battlefield.
Valentine has just kind of like propped up against a wall and is just kind of watching Tatiana eat, but silently, a little bit away from the party.
Tatiana, you get the distinct impression that you can eat as much of this as you want. You feel full, but you feel good. Like it's more like you are consuming by choice and no longer out of physical need.
Warlock, is this illusion food?
No, it's quite real, quite real. I never had any head for illusion, to tell you the truth.
You're a warlock.
My talent lay more in, pull! And you see 6 of the pixies just throw full pies up into the air in 6 different directions.
Oh, I'm distracted.
And he holds a hand up, and out of each finger and out of the palm of his hand, bluish black beams of electricity just arc out and hit each pie. Boom, 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 boom. Still got it.
Wait, does he destroy the pie?
Oh, yeah, he destroys the pies.
No! No!
Oh, I thought they were just
He's
like a
criminal.
fireworks show.
Oh, no, there's more, Tatiana. There's more. Don't worry. Don't worry. They try and trick me with those on occasion. I'm just walking through the field and they're like, Master! And I'm, boom, ha. Still got it.
It's just food, Tatiana.
I get in his face and I say, never do that to food in my presence again.
Understood, my cloud lady.
Okay.
I think that means you enjoy
We're
it,
cool.
though, huh?
I turned to Twinkle. We are cool.
There you go. Oh, yes, everyone's cool. We're all cool. We're all cool.
I walk over to Valentine. I thought you liked this place. Why so distrustful?
I don't know what you saw when we all remembered. Zybilna, but she was, in my memory, interacting with Mother. She was giving her money to care for me. I don't know if the memory is real or if our memories are being affected by this place, but it certainly dampened my excitement.
I completely understand. To think that Jibaku, all this time, I thought she chose me. But she was doing it for other reasons. Why would your mother accept money to care for you?
And what did she do in return? Was she a warlock and none of us ever knew it?
I think the only answers can come from finding Zybilna. And to be honest, I'm quite excited. In the memory, well, I never knew I had a fake godmother. It's kind of special, right?
That's a great way to look at it, Tatiana. Thank you. And if it's any consolation, regardless of the fact that you have sworn to be here, I choose you, and so do the rest of us. We all choose to be with you.
I choose you back. I think this makes us sisters in a way.
Sure. I don't know if I necessarily recommend being my family, as seems to not have gone well for
You are already chosen family. And I grab her hand and I march her over the feast and I make her smell things.
Strong.
Valentine, you do notice there is one thing that is not made out of pumpkin. It is Valentine's favorite sweet from when she was a little girl. What was she into?
I think it would be strawberries. Strawberries dipped in like a sweet sugar and chocolate mixture, kind of coated with like a dipped in chocolate and then dipped in a little more sugar again. Really, really sweet. Something they would have picked fresh from the garden.
You notice there is a plate of those on very large strawberries, like barely one would fit in your hand.
I'll just look to the man and why is this with all of the pumpkin foods?
Oh, those. Yes. Thimble would make those when she was around, and I developed a bit of a sweet tooth for those. I realize I love pumpkin, but on occasion one must cleanse the palate, and he does reach down and he picks one up, and strawberry juice erupts out of the sides when he bites it, like, Reminds you that you're alive, and why you're alive, I think. And happily eats it.
How long ago did Thimble leave?
Oh, they all come and go. Trying to limit or restrain a pixie's movements is the quickest way to get a sharp point in your backside, I think. How long's it been since Thimble was around you all? And they're couple days, couple weeks, year and a half. It hasn't been a year and a half, Stanley. I'm not sure.
I'll take one of the strawberries and bite into it.
When you bite into this, Valentine, what you get is more than the taste of this confection, which is magnificent. But you get almost like a single frame, an image of your father sitting before the hearth, burning, with you on his lap, in a glass of wine in his hand, telling you stories about the brave pirate queen. You loved those stories. You never got enough of them because you didn't really have many moments like this. But this one was special.
Do I remember the pirate queen's name?
Valentine.
Valentine's face kind of still like sours at the sweetness of it and the intensity. It's just kind of looking around at everybody to see, just like kind of regain composure. We just lost Finn.
We lost a Finn, and I think when we lost a Finn, we lost in everything.
We sure did.
You know what's great? This was the one time that I did not put the disaster recovery in place because I was like, yo, you know what, y'all? This is going to be fine. Hey, hold on 1 second, y'all. We're going to work this out in real time. We're going to do the low-tech solution.
Oh.
There it is. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. Hold on.
All right.
I'm gonna do this. We're gonna go a little over here. We're gonna slap a little zhuzh on it.
Smooth.
We're gonna power through.
Mm-hmm. Well, hello.
While
They're
Valentine,
seeing too much.
it's true. They're seeing everything. But here we are. You all hear from overhead the sound of hooves, even though the sun is starting to set and the stars are just beginning to peek through, and you hear the pixies start to get excited. They're like, oh, it's here, and the pixies start to fly up into the air as you all see overhead a carnival. Several wagons being drawn by magnificent creatures. There is a horse with butterfly wings. There's foxes the size of horses with butterfly wings flying overhead. You see one of the buildings that is being towed along looks like a large globe, like it is shaped like a planet with wings on it. The other wagons are just brightly colored. They're red and green and white and magnificent as these multicolored spectacle just arcs overhead. And the pixies wave and smile. Everybody's in the wrong place now, but there you go. We're going to do it. We'll do it like that. That's fine.
It's me, Finn.
Sorry, y'all.
No, it happens. Technology. But yes, you see all... And even the Madrik looks up and he's like, I thought they'd already made camp. Apparently not. As it goes arcing overhead.
What are they?
Oh, that's the carnival. The Witchlight Carnival.
This is the next step into the rest of our lives.
Well, if they're flying here, they're probably going to put down soon, so I think you do have the night to rest, but I think you want to try and be there bright and early before the lines get too long. Everyone's going to have seen that.
Hold on. If I can't be too uncomfortably full, how will I ever faceplant and fall asleep?
Is it your desire to sleep?
Well, I don't know, want to brag, but I've recently become more druidic, and sleep it's necessary.
Twinkle looks up at you and he's like, I might be able to help if it's your desire to. I don't want you to faceplant and hurt yourself, but maybe if you just have a little seat.
She said,
Oh, you're ready to sleep, right?
sure.
Twinkle gets in your face and goes, and a pink smoke blows out. In Tatiana, the night goes on, and everyone happily feasting, reveling, until things start to quiet down a little bit, until Desmond, you get a very strange sensation deep inside your heart. And you look up with a terrible realization as cresting over the tree line is the largest full moon you have ever seen in your life. And Desmond begins to transform. But before this happens, maybe in her dreams, maybe not, two old friends have an opportunity to catch up. After your first night in this strange and new place, this place of towering trees, of incredibly bright stars, of grass greener than you could ever possibly imagine, Tatiana, you find yourself unable to relax, unable to completely unwind for the night, when an old friend stops by for a visit.
Now, do you see why I was trying to get you to become a druid sooner?
I didn't. I've taken you into the woods, so yes, we could discuss. You are right, Nika, you are right. The power of harnessing nature. So strong.
It's a good thing, and it's always all around you. It's quite convenient.
Well, you would think, but the places I have been lately, it's not as common as you would think.
I think I know what you mean by that one. 1 second, let me get out of this sword, and she'll manifest herself in front of you instead. See, this is much better. I mean, the sword is lovely and everything, but I think, more face to face.
Oh, you're even more beautiful than I remembered. It's good to see your face. And I go to touch her cheek.
And there's still that.
Right. No, I know this, and yet I want so badly to touch you, to feel you are present. I'm sorry to make you feel bad about being incorporeal.
It's what I want to. Do you know how badly I want to reach out and be able to actually hug you and Valentine and Desmond and shake hands with the people who brought you to me? I mean, it's a little limiting being a little more than this.
But in some plane, you do exist, right? I mean, can you touch your own hand?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you put your hand up to mine. I think I feel.
Yes, close enough. Energy.
I missed when we were girls and we would race and run amongst trees. Not trees like these, but...
No, these were always wonderful. It was funny going back home and everything looked somewhat smaller. But still, it was better to go home. What was home?
What is it that would feel like home to you now after all you've been through?
If I have learned anything, it's who you are with, that matters most. Who makes you feel alive?
You have been alive in our hearts this whole time.
That's very good to know.
Valentine, she ferociously wanted to find you. Of course I did too. But the strength, the ferocity with which she seeks you, she was single-minded in her pursuit.
She did what everyone else promised. Somehow I knew she would.
She always does. It's why I put my faith in her.
That's why I put my faith in both of you.
I appreciate one such as yourself, who now may inherit the kingdom. I feel Kashmar could be strong again.
Perhaps.
You two lead?
Hopefully not alone. Hopefully with help.
Of course not. I would never allow you to not have a master of arms.
Oh, I like the sound of that one.
Of course, I must train all the fighters in the new land of Kashmar.
I think you have something there, my friend.
So this is where you grew up?
It's here I was brought by my mother, yes.
And she was raised by the Fey people?
She's Fey. I'm partly Fey, I suppose, in that way.
Tell me more of her. I wish I could meet her.
She's why I love nature too. Except where I am more small, she was tall and elegant and moved with this fluidity that was almost musical. And she had a laugh that sounded like tinkling bells, crystal clinking against itself. It was just, she was magical. But then she'd bring me here and I could see why she was magical, because everyone in the family just has this aura about them that they could reach out their hand and make things happen without even trying. That their wants and their whims would just manifest.
It's beautiful. I've seen it done, but sometimes the spells, they take such power and such strength, which is great and beautiful. But to see it happen without effort, now that...
It was everything I ever wanted. I am so glad to see your face again.
And I yours. And Tatiana lunges for a big hug. Bear hug! Totem of the bear! Just let me have this!
How about we just stand really close and like hold arms out?
I like it.
Okay, we'll try that.
And as you do this, Tatiana, you swear just for a moment you can feel your old friend's warmth inside your arms.
There you are.
And you. I better get back in the sword. This is actually rather draining.
Sure. I'll take you back.
Thank you.
Tatiana lifts up the sword.
And here, standing in this strangely foreign and yet somehow welcoming place, is a good place for us to stop.